back, Frill Nation, to another episode of OK Bloomer. I just wanted to do something a little bit different today. I wanted to do a couple of reviews. I know a lot of people tend to do unboxing and reviews, so while I understand that maybe it's not always the most exciting thing in the world, I also think that you can never have too much critique from different points of view and different opinions. And so I thought that there would just be some fun in also doing an unboxing, because sometimes it is just fun, scratches that itch to watch someone else open something. So the two companies that I have to talk about today are Devil Inspired and Sweet Mildred. If for some reason you are not familiar with Devil Inspired, they are actually a Taobao reseller. They work with a select collection of companies to post Lolita, punk, and other J-fashion styles on their website. They do charge a slight markup because it is convenient. It is entirely in English. However, they do make it very easy to order. You can still find a lot of things that are quite affordable from there. And it's a valuable resource, especially if you're new to Lolita fashion, trying to get into it, don't want to spend a lot of money, or even if you're just trying to sort of branch out into accessories, because sometimes brand doesn't always have what you're looking for, or it's just straight up sold out and you can't get it anyway. Sweet Mildred is actually one of the stores in the Lolita Collective, so I do believe that she is Chicago-based. She has also sort of mostly accessories as her focus. I actually saw her at a convention that we had last year in Michigan, and I was able to purchase a hat from her, which I thought was really cute. It's sort of a Marie Antoinette style, sort of, I don't want to call it a boater hat. It's not a boater hat. If it's a boater hat, it has a taller crown, but it is that sort of very Rococo flat style. The only thing that I'm iffy about on it is that it has this elastic string, and because obviously I am a little bit bigger, I do have some extra skin along the bottom of my chin. I feel like that would just kind of cut in over time and sort of really irritate the skin, but it's so minor, and the hat itself is really quite beautiful that I could probably just cut this off and just hand tack a hair comb or an alligator clip or something into it. But it is a beautiful hat, and I thought, well, you know, she sort of has that classic Lolita vibe to her that I really appreciate, because I feel that a lot of accessories for classic Lolita style are hard to come by. Most of the time what you'll find is you'll find sweet Lolita accessories because they can kind of translate to a lot of other J fashions very well, just in terms of color, vibrancy, and theming. And you find a lot of gothic Lolita accessories because black goes with everything. And again, it can translate to a lot of different alternative styles. You have just regular gothic, you have punk styles. And so while those are somewhat more diverse, I feel like classic Lolita is a little bit harder to narrow down, because you have to be careful that things aren't going to start looking what we affectionately call Grandma K. So when I look for classic Lolita accessories, what I do is I look for items with a certain elegance. I look for items that have a higher quality in terms of feel and detailing. And that's what drew me to Sweet Mildred, was because she sort of had harnessed what I look for in classic Lolita accessories, especially with this hat. It has this beautiful white peacock feather. It has all of these beautiful flowers along the edge. It's a really nice sort of pink lace buckram, so it has an excellent shape to it. Still has a little bit of flex, so you can pose it a little on your hair. And the lace around the edge is very soft, and it's just tacked in place. It also has some lace around the crown, as you can see, because that's what this is. This is the crown, and this is the brim. And this lace here is very soft again, and it's just very carefully placed. And overall, I quite like it. It plays a lot with texture. I think the flowers are somewhat decent quality, especially these little cabbage roses here. I really like that. I've always been pretty impressed with her, especially just because, like I said, it's hard to find decent classic Lolita accessories. It's something I've really struggled with. So first I'm going to do an unboxing of the items I ordered from her. And these are just, again, more accessories, because I can't have enough. I'll have to show you my closet. I do have too many accessories, but do I? Do I though? No, it's impossible. And that's also why I'm not wearing earrings, because I remember I ordered earrings, but honestly I don't remember what else I ordered. So this is sort of an unboxing slash early Christmas gift for Sweet Mildred. Ooh, okay. Well wrapped. We got a little postcard in there. Let's get this one sealed. I like that everything's kind of got bubble wrap around it. The card first. Oh shit. It's got a cat on it. Oh, there's two. Ooh. First off, this is freaking adorable. Like, there it is. It me. And this is also pretty. This is a little more like Gothic Mermaid. Is kind of the vibe I get from it. But it's still very pretty. As you can maybe tell from looking at the wall behind me, one of the things that I really like to do is collect artwork, so little freebies and things like this from companies I've purchased from. What I like to do after a while is I do like to frame them and kind of put them up on my walls just as sort of a decoration. And I think these two little postcards are going to go great up on the wall. So these were freebies, these were thrown in. That cat one. Aesthetic. Yeah. Just gonna dump it all out. Just gonna dump it all out. Oh yeah, I regret nothing. These are gorgeous. These are just some simple earrings. Yeah, we're getting real old school in here. I love the color, that sort of teal shade, and then they have gold flake embedded in the resin. And the resin has this very delicate faceted look. I wanted to say carved, and I'm like, no, that's not the word for it. So it's faceted. I love this color. It's super unique. I think it'll look really good with like a deep teal outfit, and then just accent it with gold all over. Oh shit, it's got hollow in it. If you can't tell, I'm also a nail polish enthusiast. So of course I watch Simply Nailogical. So of course when I see it has hollow in it, I'm just like, there it is. It's perfect. Don't need anything else. Alright, so for the next little, just got some cute little washi tape on there. Little Japanese umbrella ghost. I can't remember what they're called. Oh shit, they're rings. That's right, I ordered rings too. Because I have a rose ring problem if you can't tell. So this is kind of similar look to the teal, where it sort of has that gold flake embedded in it. I believe this was the white colorway. I thought about doing the clear, but I liked this one more because I like that you can still see some of the detail. I also appreciate that it's an adjustable ring base because I do have pretty thick fingers. Everything about me is a disaster. That's why I wear so much makeup. So yeah, no, that's cute. The other color I got, this is just sort of a pink color, again with the gold flake. And again, it's elegant, it's a nice color, it'll match at least a few things in my wardrobe, especially with this hat. And it just adds just a little pop of something, so it's still very classy and elegant, totally within my wheelhouse. That's right. Let's talk more about rose jewelry and the obsession. So we have 3 sets of resin rose earrings. And I again thought this was something really pretty and super unique. So these are just earrings that have real rose buds that have been dipped in resin. Do it, camera, do it. Hopefully this isn't like the cookie incident where the resin breaks down over time. So that's one. I like these because these were kind of darker. They're a little bit lighter on the outside, as you can tell, but they'll have a nice little pop of sort of a burgundy color to them. The resin did pool a little in between the petals, so it looks a little thick on the inside. But hopefully that does mean that they are well sealed. These are a little bit even darker, which I like. especially because if you do something very light in color, then you add little pops of dark all through it. And I think that kind of adds a nice contrast, kind of gives your coordinate a little bit of a pop, some visual interest. And I just thought these were super unique. I used to really like this brand that I don't believe exists anymore, unfortunately. It was called Suppurate System. And it was a Japanese brand. It only did accessories, like very gothic accessories. They ran a lot of ads in the early GLBs. And unfortunately, I do believe they have gone under. But they did have a lot of that sort of resin jewelry. They did a lot with gothic elements like cages and nails, things like that. It was just really, I'm going to say a phrase, and it's not meant as insulting. It's very early Hot Topic, which was a good time. It's not like now Hot Topic, where it's basically just anime merch and some Dickies pants in the back. It was very like, was intended for gothic looks. So I really liked it. It was different, it was edgy, it was still kind of cute in a weird way, and it had these very delicate roses and rose petal aesthetics. Did a lot with cast resin pieces, so it was just something a little bit different. But unfortunately, they're no more. So, Sweet Mildred, I can't remember when I ordered it. Hold on, let me check myself so that I don't wreck myself. Okay, I found it. Sorry. I originally placed the order on October 31st on Halloween Day, and the order was processed and shipped by the 11th of November. So it was a little bit of a wait, but at the same time, I believe she was running a lot of sales that weekend because there was one of the digital events that was occurring. So she probably had quite a few to ship, and honestly, like, I'm not going anywhere. So it's not exactly like it was a huge problem for me to wait. But overall, yeah, I'm pretty happy with the purchases. I'm really glad that I picked up the little green heart earrings. I think they're super cute. I might have to now make a few things that sort of match this interesting green color to wear them. That's kind of how it goes. I get an accessory and then I'm like, ooh, I need something in this color for it. So I end up creating more work for myself, which I think is just kind of what we do. Onward to Devil Inspired. Talked a little bit about them earlier. They're just a Taobao reseller. I can't complain too much about the ship time because the items I ordered 2 hats, were a pre-order item. So it was just something that was going to have to be produced anyway. I had joined a group order with one of my comm members along with several others, and this was back in June. And so we all thought, yeah, it would be fun to just get together and just order a bunch of things, especially if you're only ordering 2 or 3 small things. That's when it's kind of a good opportunity to reach out to some trusted comm members or friends and say, hey, does anyone want to order from this website? What's handy about it is that because the items are curated for you, you don't run the risk of going through a site like Taobao, AliExpress, eBay, ordering something based off pictures and having it turn out totally horrendous, because they sort of reinforce a little bit more quality control, and because they pick the businesses that they want to work with, they can sort of maintain a certain level of quality and fit a sort of expectation instead of their customers getting stuck with something that's unwearable, unusable, and just all around trash and a waste of money. So I had found some hats because, as I say, I have a bit of an accessory problem. And one of the projects that I've been working on for a few years was to do a few sets of essentially an homage or replica, if you really want to call it that, of Juliette A. Justine's Fée d'une Fleur set, which is hard to find. They did a re-release of it in a few other colors, but God help you if you can find it. I think I found the dress once. It came in a dress and then it came in separates, like a bodice and a skirt. And I think I found it once on Mercari or another website, and I think it was like $700. And as much as I love this set and think it's gorgeous, I'm not that into it. I can just make it. It's a lot of half circles of chiffon that get hand cut and then serged, but I've done it. So far I have made the pink set, which you can actually see if you kind of look over my shoulder. I'm actually wearing it in the picture behind me that was at our 10th anniversary. And I also have a navy, cornflower, and sky blue set. That is the one that I wore in my last few videos that I wore with the white version of this blouse. My final planned version is to do black, silver, and red. So to have sort of a sweet colorway, a classic colorway, and then a gothic colorway. And that set is something that hopefully I'll be able to begin working on soon. I have all the material that I need, more or less. It's just one of those, gotta sit down and do it. So anyway, if you remember, my dear friend Emily, or Emile, Celtic Freefall, she is getting married within the next year or two. And she has tragically given us all full permission to wear Lolita at her wedding and go as big as we can.
How big can I go? I don't care. You can go big or go home, bitch. Go big or go home, bitch. Go big or go home,
bitch. And nothing says going as big as we can like an elegant over-the-top hat. My plan is to wear one of my Faded floor sets, probably the blue set, because I think it's my favorite in terms of color. It's not one I've really gotten to wear out very much. And I just think overall it's going to look really elegant and gorgeous at her wedding. And also it's going to be very hard to confuse me with the bride because it will be blue and not white. I'm concerned that if I wear the pink one, it's going to be just a little bit too light in color, even though her dress is going to be insane and I'm really excited to see it. And they always say that the 3 colors you should never wear to a wedding are black, red, and white. White, obviously, because it's reserved for the bride. Black, because obviously that is the color of mourning in America. Mourning is in sad about a death or, you know, someone dying, not obviously mourning like sun coming up, duh. And red because, and this is sort of a very puritanical take on it, because it's so bright and attention getting, and it's a slutty color. Like, red's a slutty color, and I don't, like, look at my lipstick. Bad example, because this lipstick's amazing. It's Zoya Matte Red, and I love it. But, because it's too eye-catching. I don't know. I think someone's cranky mother-in-law made that shit up. Whatever. So, my goal was to find hats to match all 3 of these sets, so that whichever set I ended up wearing, even for meetups and other things, I would have a hat to match, and I could do kind of a similar look and kind of also use it as a comparison to show how styling and color can take 3 items of 3 different colors and give them a completely different vibe. So luckily there was a listing for hats. It was a pre-order listing. It was the Elegant Eagle Watcher Lolita Dress Matching Hat by NSG Lolita. And each hat was $31.40. And honestly that's a really good deal. I have made my own hats in the past, and what I've done is found a buckram form on eBay and ordered it. And honestly, the buckram forms usually aren't much cheaper than that $20 or $30 mark, depending on what you're looking for. And since I'm looking for something fairly specific, that very Rococo style hat, that seemed a really good deal. And I figured, you know, I can't really beat that. Alright, so here's where things were kind of ducky. So I messaged my girlfriend and I'm like, alright, these are the hats I want. I want 3 of them because, as you see, it lists 3 colors. It lists dark blue, beige, and black. And I wanted one of each because according to the pictures, I was like, yes, it's perfect. I want it. Let's do this. So she said, all right, cool. And she places the order. And then she messages me and says, okay, so they reached out and apparently the dark blue and the black hat are the same color. And what it is it's a black hat with blue flowers on it. And I'm like, oh, why does it list 2 colors though? Like, why is there dark blue and black as colors then? Like, that didn't make any bloody sense to me. And she said, bruh, I don't even know. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, are the flowers removable? Because my thinking was, if I can just pop the flowers off, I'll at least buy a 3rd hat for the form and just swap the flowers out myself. It can't be that hard. And of course, their reply was, no, they can't be removed. And the way I understand it is that what they probably thought is that I wanted them to remove the flowers before sending me the hat, which I can see where that confusion is. And that wasn't really what I was going for, and I should have explained, like, how are they attached or something. Should have clarified my question a little better. But we were also going through multiple layers because it was me asking the runner of the group order these questions, and then her having to message with Devil Inspired. Devil Inspired possibly having to do some translation and talking with their supplier and trying to get everything figured out. So there's so many layers of communication there that it's easy to misunderstand someone's intentions. And also that was kind of my failure for not like explaining better. All right, so the flowers can't be removed. Do I still want 2 of the blue and black hat? And I was like, all right, you know what? No, it's fine. I'll just do 2 hats. And my thinking was, if I like them, then I can order another one later. Like, it's coming. All right, you'll see. And if I don't, then whatever. Worst case, I can sell them if I want. So we got 2 orders in for this pre-order or for this group order, because obviously some items were on pre-order and some items were just in stock and shipped super fast. So those items did ship super fast, and then the rest of the pre-order items, we obviously had to wait for them to be manufactured and shipped. August 14th, we placed the pre-order. September 1st, they were like, yo, these hats are the same color. Do you still want 3? And then finally we got the order all placed. Yeah, flowers can't be removed. Found that out later, September 1st. And I was like, all right, fine, I'll just do 1 hat, whatevs. And then October 30th, she received the last of the items from the group order, the pre-order items, and was able to ship it to me. And I finally got the hats. Okay, she shipped them November 6th, and I finally received them November 13th. So that's the timeline. Ordered August 14th, some back and forth around September, beginning of September, and then she finally received the hats like a month and a half later, almost 2 months later, whatever. And then I got them a couple weeks ago, literally like 2 weeks ago. Let's look at the bloody hats. I unwrapped. I already unwrapped shit. I'm sorry. This is actually kind of alright. I really like the hat. I'm sorry. So I unwrapped the black and blue one. I'm gonna unwrap the pink and beige one today. And I was concerned because it's black and navy, which never put black and navy together. They just run too close. It freaks everyone out. It makes Tim Gunn cry. But I actually really kind of like it on this. So you can see they did a really nice little lace trim around the edge. It sticks up a little bit, and I think that's just because from in shipping it was kind of rolled up on itself. So it does stick up a little bit. But if I'm really butthurt about it, I can put this like under a warm iron. Do not use steam because it'll fuck up the buckram. Any kind of moisture fucks up buckram. It like washes away the starch that gives it a nice stiffness. But I can throw down a little bit of heat and kind of just press it out and smooth it out. Again, more peacock feather. Like peacock. This isn't a peacock feather. This is an ostrich feather. What is wrong with me? We need more ostrich feathers in this fashion, first off. Let's talk about that. What I really like too, it's got these cute little cabbage roses again. It's got some like little cheaper ones. Not super worried, but they are soft. So they have a nice sort of velvet feel to them. I like the little cabbage roses though. I think those are really cute. It's got some little pops of gold on here with, I'm not sure if they're not really stamens. I'm not sure what part of the flower they're supposed to be, but that's okay. And then as for not removable, as you can see, it's literally just hot glued on. So theoretically, yeah, what I can do is I can pop all these flowers off and replace it with something else. So I should have just said screw it and just ordered the 3rd hat, because then I would have just ripped all the flowers off. Because I was kind of torn when I first opened it, like, am I gonna just replace all these flowers? But honestly, at this point, I'm like, fuck it, nah, it's fine. And so I'd considered just doing that. But I'm not gonna do that. So I should have ordered the 3rd hat, ripped off all the flowers from that, and just done my own thing, and gotten some black and gray and red flowers and glued them all over the hat. I think I would have liked that. But honestly, I mean, I would have liked a blue ostrich feather, and I do have a bunch of dyed feathers just kind of kicking around in my sewing closet because, as all crafty bitches know, you don't let go of anything. If you've got some stuff, like some crafting stuff, you got random ass feathers, you've got little scraps of ribbon, you hold on to that shit. You're not a hoarder. You're just conserving things that you can use later. But overall, I quite like the colors of the flowers. I think it's going to match really well with my blue set. I will probably add a blue ostrich feather. And so for the attachment, they have a couple of alligator clips. And I kind of feel two ways about this. One, it's kind of nice because it will be very secure in the hair. Like, these are some long ass clips, like longer than my damn finger. So that's pretty crazy. How would you do it? I'm gonna fuck up my hair feathers, and that's okay. I also love the tail. We're gonna talk about that shit. I like to pull it down really low, ma'am. And then what you do is you kind of pile your hair up really big underneath. So I would probably take like a bunch of bobby pins and just, just tease out the curls, get them looking big, and just pile them up underneath so that it looks like the head is actually resting on the hair. So that's the only disadvantage for the alligator clips for me, is because frankly everything gets fucking stuck in my hair because it's curly and it's thick and it takes no prisoners. It only takes prisoners. So my concern would be to actually get it latched into my hair. I'm gonna try at least on the one side here. Okay, it kind of worked. Yeah, it worked. Yeah, it grips pretty well. If I'm super worried about it though, again, just like with the Sweet Mildred hat, I'll just like whip stitch in a hair comb in the back or add a couple of extra pins. Or, this is honestly a really good excuse to buy some more hat pins. I actually have quite a few that I just kind of bought on a whim. You can never go wrong with accessories. Like, you can't. You can't. I didn't put in earrings because I was going to try on a pair of earrings from Sweet Mildred, and then I still haven't. See, my hair's hungry. She doesn't like to let shit go. I also do really like the veil too. It's glittery, which you can never go wrong with glitter, obs. And it's got a little bit of a ribbon tail here, and this is a beautiful double-faced satin ribbon. If you're unfamiliar, double-faced satin literally means that it's sort of smooth and satiny on both sides. A lot of times the cheaper ribbons you find are a single-faced ribbon, and so what that means is while it looks beautiful in luxe and has just a slight sheen to it on one side, the other side it's thinner and it just looks kind of scratchy and crappy. Like, you can more easily see the weave of the fibers. The one thing I just noticed and what I was frowning about, oh god, I hit my camera, I'm sorry baby. Don't show them my secrets, don't show them my mess. Is the ends, you can see, this is already fraying. I haven't even worn this out. Where the fuck am I gonna go? I haven't even worn it around the house in my pajamas just to be fancy beach. So that's kind of a bit of a problem, but it's not. There's a few things that you can do to fix the raw edges on synthetic fabrics. This will not work on cotton, just so you know, cotton will burn. But it will work on things like polyester rayon, anything that's sort of essentially a plastic or synthetic fiber. Always test a small area if you're not sure. Keep a fire extinguisher nearby if you're not sure. And if I'm freaking you out right now and you're like, dude, I'm not doing any of that, you can do a little bead of fray check. What you'll want to do is you'll want to trim your edge fresh. And you'll run a little bead of fray check along that free edge just to clean it up. Or you can also use super glue if you don't want to go out and buy something dedicated like super glue. And just again run it along that edge and then leave it somewhere where it won't be in contact with anything and let it dry overnight. And you can play with it a couple of times and kind of test it out until you really get a knack for it. So in a pinch, if you have clear nail polish, that may also help, although please keep in mind that clear nail polish or super glue does have a chance of discoloring your material. So because I'm a crazy person, I prefer to use a little bit of fire from a lighter and just kind of melt that edge real nice. It helps to form a good seal. You don't have to wait for it to dry. And if you're quick enough about it, you can lock that in with just a thin melted strip without running the risk of discoloration. Like, you won't even be able to tell. So, didn't think y'all were going to get to see a pyrotechnic display today, but here we go. If fire makes you nervous, go ahead and turn away. That's all it takes. You can see if it'll focus. I had to work my ass off to get it to like focus my face before I started recording, and now it's like I won't see no one else except you, my darling. There you go. So you can see it's a little bit dark, and you can hear it's rough. And that's just because it's just a thin melted edge. So that's what I prefer to do to finish my ribbon edges. And here's the other raw unfinished edge, so you can see that pepper is fraying. She don't want to focus. She's having a rough day. And so I'm just gonna trim away that little thread there. I'm just gonna do the same thing real quick. And you don't want to like hold it directly like this. That's why I'm doing the flame separate, and then you just want to guide the ribbon along the very edge of the flame, because it melts up so fast that you'll end up just turning the entire ribbon into slag if you're not careful. So you turn on the flame, and then you bring the ribbon to it, and you just run it along just the barest edge. You just get it close. You don't have to get it super close. Don't put it directly in the flame. You can also do it sort of over the flame and just real quick if you're trying to work up the confidence and the coordination to do it. But that's how I prefer to do it, is just a quick boop boop, especially on dark ribbon, because if it does singe a little bit, no one will be able to tell. Gives it a good strong seal, and I think it just looks cleaner than fray check and super glue and most other techniques. Let's open the second hat. Okay. And I like that they put these in bags, and they were fairly flat shaped, so, you know, crushing the crown wasn't really a concern. Okay. Alright, so right off the bat I'm kind of bummed, because this tool isn't sparkly, like, at all. But you can see why I'm not going to wear the pink one to my friend's wedding, because, bitch, this looks like a fail. So right off the bat, the tool's not sparkly. Boo. Why am I even in this fashion if I can't be glittered up like a fucking Easter egg? Not sure if this is just because, probably because it's been compressed. My ostrich feather has a little bit of a crook to it. It's supposed to sit more like that. As for that, I'm not sure what I can do to fix that. I may be able to like sort of go against that crook by running it through some scissors. If you've ever played around with curling ribbon, things like that, where you run the ribbon along the edge of the scissors and it forces it to curl up real tight, you can do something similar with feathers, and you run it along, I don't know what I'm going to call this the bone of the feather. I don't think it's called the bone of the feather. So ornithologists, don't come for me, because bird people. But if you do that, it'll give it sort of a nice dramatic curl. And that may be a good way to kind of work against it. Or it might be fucked. I don't know. Doesn't matter. It's a minor detail, and I can always replace the ostrich feather if I really need to. I'm going to be obsessed with calling them ostrich feathers now, just to make up for the fact that I called them peacock feathers earlier. So I just unwrapped that, and there is a hair on it. I mean, some people would probably be grossed out. Like, oh my god, I hair. If it was food, I'd be grossed out. However, when you have hair like mine, where it's thick, curly, and long, it just shows up everywhere. Like it just appears from the ether. I'll find hair just everywhere. I shed like a bitch. And so honestly, finding little random hairs doesn't bother me that much. All right, this one shouldn't have sat in the fucking bag as long, because you can see that buckrum's kind of all cramped up now because of how it was mashed for transit. Again, this is something where I may be able to fix this by putting my iron on a warm setting and just kind of pressing it out in here, in this little nook here, and trying to press it out, or if I can figure out how it's attached. Okay, so that's just held up with a little bit, oh yeah, it's gonna be hard to see, a little bit of glue and strings, so it was just stitched in place, and then it had glue put over it to hold it in place, and it looks like it's just hot glue. Yeah, it feels like hot glue. So what I could potentially do is I can remove that hot glue by warming it in the iron very carefully. You may want to actually I'll probably put like a pillowcase between the iron and this blob of hot glue, so that as the hot glue remelts, it doesn't just grab onto the bottom of the iron and stick there, because that's a bad time. And that way instead it'll stick to the old pillowcase. You know, the flowers aren't great, but they're not bad. Like, they're pretty cute. Like, you got this little peachy guy. I like that one there. I wouldn't mind adding more feathers to it again, especially maybe to hide that little crooked bit, in like some pink, maybe, probably not gold. Gold might be too harsh. I like just the little pops of gold that they've done. But just something to give it a little bit of a pop, I think would be really cute. We have the long ribbon tails, and they finished the edges on these, and it looks like they did what I do, where they burn it. So you can tell, like, they didn't do a great job on this, but like, whatever. I'm not gonna, if I want to redo it, I can. You just trim off that little bit of excess, you do the lighter trick, and you're in for a good time. See, I got a slight kink in the ribbon, but again, you can iron that out. And this is going to need to be steamed out quite a bit, but not a problem, really. So yeah, pro tip, if you buy hats, don't leave them in the packaging for too long. I should have made this video sooner and I didn't, and that's my bad. But I'm feeling I feel like I can probably fix it and it'll be fine. Sometimes when you do just get damage in buckram though, and creases and things like this, it just can't be fixed. The buckram has taken the shape of that wrinkle, and you're screwed from that point on. So that is something I may just have to try and see. Alright, it's good news, everyone. This was after I'd finished recording. I decided to go ahead and I set my iron to cotton and turned off the steam setting. And then what I did was I used a roll of cardboard that I had laying around to use as a form, and I just kind of pressed this edge of the hat, and as you can remember from a little bit earlier in the video, it was very crinkled, it was very mashed in, and now it has a much better shape to it. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better. It's not quite as like thrashed. And I did that a little bit on this back edge too. And I could probably go in a little bit more, hit it a little bit harder on some of these points. The inside of the crown is still going to be probably a little bit bent up and messy, but honestly, it's not that big of a deal. Like, I can just throw more flowers on it. You can tell this is after I finished filming, because I took my hair flowers out because it was starting to like kind of de-lolify from videos. So yeah, cotton was the setting I used. I turned off the steam, and I used a rolled up piece of cardboard as a form, just kind of wedged it into the brim as far as I could, kind of rolled it up tight. And yeah, so I was able to mostly recover the shape on this. So yeah, just be careful. I did, as you can see here, my plate did run into these little doodly bobs. You can see they kind of have a red edge where it melted away the gold exterior. And I did end up getting a little bit of that paint further up on the hat, you can't really tell, so I'm not even gonna worry about it. But yeah, when shit like that happens, I just wiped off the plate onto the edge of my ironing board cover to kind of get off most of the gunk. And then when I'm done with it, I'm gonna let it cool. And once it's completely cool to the touch, I'll see if I can just pull it right off the metal. There's a lot that you can do if you just take your time and if you do a little research online and see what other people have done. There's most of the time you can recover things like that. So sometimes you can't, but I figured, you know what? I already have the hat. If I have to put more flowers on it to kind of hide any crinkles or damage, oh no. But no, I was able to recover it, so I feel a little bit better about the hat now. So yeah, Devil Inspired, bump you up a little bit to like a 7 out of 10. Otherwise though, again, it's like fucking, yeah, like, I'm just throwing this over my shoulder for drama, but like, how can you not love a hat? Like, hats are phenomenal. I love hats so much. I have too many of them. So the real problem for me with these guys, ma'am, is storing them. Because I want to leave the veils, like, kind of flowing so that they don't get all crushed up where I have to, like, fucking steam them out every damn time, because who has time? Like, I hate it. I hate ironing. I don't do it. And so that's something I'm gonna have to figure out. My idea right now is to get just like a couple of command hooks or something that I can just like pop onto the wall and then just kind of have them hanging from the wall so that the veils are dangling down. The only downsides with that is that these veils are pretty long and I'm running out of wall space in this room. So I have a spot where I can put them, but I'm pretty sure I'm only going to be able to fit one in that spot. And no, I don't need you to see what a disaster I am. That's why I have the camera in such a tight part of my room. So I'm torn between, you know, just doing it anyway and having them hang like that, or just putting one on display at a time, which is also an option because these do make cute display pieces. You could even just, it's on this side. Ugh, I parted my hair on the wrong side today. I'm sorry, y'all. But you could, like, there's still options. And yeah, since the flowers are just hot glued on, if I'm looking at it one day and I'm just like, you know what, fuck these flowers, I want something with more vibrancy and more color, I can just do it. I can just go and switch the flowers out. Which, honestly, I may still consider doing, because the set that this is supposed to match, which again you can see over my shoulder, this is very like peachy, salmon, coral, pinky, warm, and the set I wear and want to wear it with is more of like a mauve. It's a little bit more cool toned, more purpley, so I don't know that it'll look super good together. So I may need to just rip off a bunch of the flowers and replace them, which is fine because I have like a crap ton of flowers. Again, it's just like the fucking feathers. You just buy a bunch of flowers and you go, yes, good, another. And you just keep buying them. So overall, what I order from Devil Inspired again. So here's my thoughts on that is, yeah, they make it easy because they kind of curate things for you where you don't have to do a lot of thinking to get something quality. And I tried to look up what the price was for this from the original seller on Taobao and I couldn't find the shop. So that kind of screwed me there because I couldn't find this original shop. And I didn't, let's be real, I didn't look super hard. But I do believe their markup is pretty high. And then you do have to account for overseas shipping. And then like in a group order, you also have to account for shipping to your house. But I didn't mind joining the group order. I trust my comm quite a bit, and I just thought that it would be fun just to try. And I haven't shopped on Taobao a lot personally. It's definitely easier if you just want something quick, and I just wanted to see what I could find in hats. You know, I just wanted to see what I could find, and if Devil Inspired would at least be worth it for accessories, because as we've discussed, it's hard for me to find classic accessories that fit my aesthetic. It's hard for me to find quality accessories, and I'm not really the type of person where I do want to take a risk and order a bunch of stuff from Taobao and risk it coming in as I expect it to. So for accessories and things and simple pieces like wardrobe filler basically, I mean, you know, it wasn't bad. It was $30 for a hat that's actually quite lovely. You know, I don't regret that. I think it'll look nice. I'm really excited about the black one. I do think the black one I prefer because it's got the glittery tool to it. It's got the nice flowers, and of course, because it's a black hat, it does hide a lot of sins. Doing a beige hat was quite risky. As for Sweet Mildred, would I order from her again? Oh, yeah, for sure. She has a lot of cute things on her site. She has a lot of beautiful jewelry, pieces that, honestly, like my green ones that I love so much, I'm quite confident that I could wear those with a formal normie wear outfit for like a holiday get together when those are allowed again, and it wouldn't look out of place. And that's kind of what I go for, is things that can sort of ride the line between like formal normie wear and classic Lolita, so that I can cross them over as I need to look good. So yeah, overall, Devil Inspired, we'll give them like a 6 out of 10, I guess. Because I'm just a little... Really, it's not their fault. They didn't make the bloody hats. And unfortunately, the hats are now sold out, so I can't order a third hat to redecorate. Shit. But that's okay, I can figure something out. I'd give them a 6 out of 10. They do mark things up once you get confident with shopping on Taobao, or if you just go through a Taobao reseller. It's a similar price, maybe less, but you have a lot more options, whereas Devil Inspired only works with like a certain network of factories and design shops. For Sweet Mildred, yeah, I'll give her a 9 out of 10 because it took a little bit for them to ship, but again, considering she was running a sale during one of the virtual events that's been run this year, so you know, it takes time to process these sorts of things, so I kind of understand. And I do still really like my hat from her. I just haven't gotten to wear it for anything yet. That is all the time we have for today, Frill Nation. I am so glad I got to talk with all of you again. I just wanted to throw in that in this time, I'm very thankful for all of my viewers. I'm really flattered that you actually like my videos enough to keep coming back and watching them, or that if you've stuck through it this far, that you continued. I'm very flattered by that and I'm very grateful. So thank you very much. Please continue to stay safe, continue to wash your hands, wear a mask that completely covers your nose and mouth, avoid interacting with the public as much as possible. A ton of small businesses are going to be running sales and deals leading up to Christmas and other holiday events. I strongly suggest you look into supporting them, maybe put them on your wish lists for Christmas, even if all you want is just a gift card for their shops. See if that's an option as well. If your parents or friends or other family aren't sure of what to get you from them, just say, hey, look into a gift card option for those stores, especially with all of the cons having been canceled this year. Next year, we're still not sure. They are working on a vaccine, but we're not sure how quickly it's going to be rolled out. The artists and creators who run these shops, like Sweet Mildred and Made in Detroit and Belladonna, etc. And I think it's more important than ever now that we show them support by ordering from them for Christmas gifts or just for something for ourselves too. You know, treat yourself 2020 because everything's a lie and nothing matters. If you've stuck with me through my rambling this far, thank you so much. I will see you on the next one. Take care. How long am I going to sit here browsing my phone? No one knows. Bam.